In a classroom, the students buzzed with excitement, exchanging clothes in preparation for April Fool's Day. When a girl announced the start of the game, Ram Woo raised his hand, indicating his desire to opt out. Hee-wan, upon hearing this, dropped her chalk and sighed in exasperation. Since the class's model student, newly transferred, seemed unable to integrate with his peers, Hee-wan initiated a chant of Ram Woo's name, trying to encourage him to participate. He reluctantly agreed. The girl leading the game pointed out that their student teacher didn't know their names yet and would surely be fooled. "This name swap will help us get closer, too," she added. Then, Young Hee-wan officially announced the start of the boy-girl name swap game. Moments later, when it was Hee-wan's turn, another girl drew a winding maze that landed on Kim Ram Woo's name. Thus, Hee-wan and Ram Woo officially swapped names. She would now go by Kim Ram Woo until the end of April Fool's Day. During break time, Ram Woo went to class A7 to play table tennis with Hong Suk, his only friend at the new school. That class was celebrating April Fool's Day with a collection of wigs. When Hong Suk asked about the girl Ram Woo swapped names with, he described her as strong and kind of thick-skinned. Meanwhile, Hee-wan and her best friend T. Kyung dashed out of school. They shared some spicy rice cakes. Hee-wan then attempted, and failed, a dramatic tablecloth pull. Despite the fumble, an older boy, impressed, approached her. "You're cute," he said. "What's your name?" confidently. She replied, "I'm Kim Ram Woo." Back in class, Hee-wan was still absent when the student teacher inquired about the empty seat. "That's Kim Ram Woo's," the class explained. "He had period cramps and went to the nurse's office." Ram Woo, overhearing this, choked on his water. And so, the mischievous Hee-wan continued to introduce herself as Kim Ram Woo throughout the day. Later, leaving a convenience store with T. Kyung, they saw a chubby boy being bullied. Hee-wan, without hesitation, threw her carton of milk at the bully's head, then fled the scene with T. Kyung, dropping her Kim Ram Woo name tag in the process. During P, some older boys noticed the cute girl in the lower grade and yelled, "Kim Ram Woo." This completely disrupted Ram Woo's attempt at a high jump. He was mortified when they then shouted, "Go out with me." Hee-wan simply smiled. Later, Ram Woo approached Hee-wan. "We only swapped names to trick the student teacher, right?" he said gently. "So when the student teacher isn't around, we don't have to use each other's names. I don't think you need to be so committed." Hee-wan replied, "I've only introduced myself as Kim Ram Woo a few times." Just then, a girl came looking for Kim Ram Woo. Both Ram Woo and Hee-wan raised their hands. The girl announced that some kids from the neighboring school were looking for Kim Ram Woo at the front gate and warned, "They're looking to kill you." She then threw down the Kim Ram Woo name tag as proof, and Ram Woo realized this was the fallout from Hee-wan's escapades. Outside, the boys from their school were kneeling before the delinquents from the neighboring school. Hee-wan explained to Ram Woo, "I saw those bullies picking on someone weaker, so I had to do something." When Ram Woo started to go tell a teacher, Hee-wan stopped him, declaring she'd take responsibility. "But they've got us outnumbered," she pleaded. "Could you two help me out a bit?" When Ram Woo asked how, Hee-wan pulled out some markers and asked him what his favorite animal was. Then, she confidently confronted the bullies, identifying herself as Kim Ram Woo. The leader demanded compensation for his designer shirt, stained by the milk. When she suggested he wash it, they laughed. "Who do you think you are?" they sneered. Hee-wan, along with her two friends, started rolling up their sleeves, not to fight, but to reveal animal tattoos. The girls had a tiger and a cobra, respectively, while Ram Woo sported a polar bear with a "Save the Environment" slogan, much to the bullies' amusement. When the leader asked, "Do your mothers know you drew that on yourselves?" Hee-wan retorted, "My mom's in heaven." The bullies, taken aback, felt a pang of guilt. They agreed not to bring parents into their insults. When Ram Woo added that he didn't have a father either, the bullies' bravado faltered further. They lessened their demands, insisting only that the jacket be washed with expensive detergent. Hee-wan declared, "I only use cucumber soap." As the bullies grumbled, the school supervisor appeared, asking if they were the ones smoking. The delinquents scattered. Hee-wan smiled at Ram Woo. The crisis was averted. That evening, the gentle Ram Woo waited until after midnight, believing the tattoo would wash off. He scrubbed diligently, but the adorable polar bear remained stubbornly in place. He then remembered the marker Hee-won used, labeled permanent. Despair washed over him. Young Hee-won, meanwhile, printed a picture of their 3 tattoos and pasted it into her scrapbook. Her younger sister, Hee-woo, remarked that she was just documenting her dark history. The next day, Hong-suk tried to take a picture of Ram-woo's environmental tattoo. Ram-woo grabbed the phone, and the two began playfully wrestling. Just then, 2 girls approached, offering Ram-woo a boys' love novel titled Sweet Guy. "I didn't know we had the same taste," one said. "I thought you were just a bookworm." Hong-suk pouted at this, while Ram-woo remained clueless. Later, Ram-woo checked the library bulletin board and realized Hee-won had used his name to borrow a stack of books on adolescent psychology. Hong-suk teased him mercilessly, as all the books were checked out under Kim Ram-woo's name. The 2 boys' love enthusiasts were ecstatic to have found a kindred spirit. Despite Ram-woo's protests, "I didn't borrow these." The 2 girls continued to follow him relentlessly. That evening, Hee-won went to pick up an item from a seller on a second-hand marketplace with the username Lee Hori, but it turned out to be her classmate Ram-woo. He handed her the bag and suggested she check the item on the spot. "You're so bold," she exclaimed. "You wrote online that you were selling it because you were embarrassed to wear it. And now you want me to check this Japanese compression bra right here?" Flustered, Ram-woo shoved the item back in the bag and explained, "My mom is selling it, but she fell asleep, so I brought it instead. Just take it home and check it. If there's a problem, my mom will give you a refund." He then nervously gathered some nearby trash to throw away. Undeterred, Hee-won pulled the bra back out of the bag, declaring that she was understanding of his unusual hobby. Ram-woo backed away, pleading with her not to tell anyone at school. Once home, Hee-won immediately left a positive review on the marketplace app, "Thanks for the quick transaction." Meanwhile, Ram-woo, finding his mother still asleep, sat down beside her. After covering her with a blanket, he saw the notification on her phone and read Hee-won's message, then promptly blocked her account. The next day at school, Ram-woo spotted Hee-won carrying the bag from the previous night. He kept glancing at it throughout class. When he saw her drawing what looked like lace, he became anxious, but she was just designing today's lunch menu. Later, while playing table tennis with his friend Hong-suk, Ram-woo noticed Tae-kyung blowing out birthday candles and receiving a gift bag from Hee-won, the one from the night before. Tae-kyung pulled out the compression bra without hesitation, and the 2 girls giggled. Tae-kyung even playfully tried it on. Hong-suk reproached Ram-woo, "You didn't give me any useful information. If I knew it was Tae-kyung's birthday, I would have had an excuse to talk to her." During class, the teacher warned the students about interacting with strangers online, mentioning the dangers of illicit online sales of alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. A girl spoke up, "I met a pervert buying used items online." When Hee-won chimed in about a similar experience, Ram-woo jumped up and yelled, "No!" The teacher agreed. "Ram-woo is right. Don't share personal information online." Afterward, Ram-woo pulled Hee-won aside. "Did I do something wrong to you?" he asked softly. "I feel like you're holding something over me from last night." Hee-won asked. "What kind of person do you think I am?" he replied. "The kind of person who would, you know. Please, just keep last night a secret." As he turned to leave, Hee-won stopped him. "Can you do me a favor? Let's trade names again like we did on April Fool's Day. Do you know how well I did on my English test that day? I guessed everything and got a 70. And when I went to eat spicy rice cakes with Tae-kyung, we got free eggs, and both had double yolks. I always wondered why I was so lucky that day. It's like you shared your luck with me when we swapped names. You know, names influence destiny. Didn't you notice anything different after trading names with me?" Ram-woo mentally replayed all the embarrassing events of that day. Hee-won continued, "My dad went to a fortune teller, and he said my destiny lacks wood, so I'll have bad luck in love and won't achieve anything great. But your name changed my luck that day, so it really suits me." Ram-woo retorted, "My name doesn't mean wood, it means to possess a hill." "But there are trees on a hill, right?" Hee-won insisted. "I'm getting goosebumps." Despite her elaborate reasoning, Ram-woo refused to agree to the name swap. But as soon as school ended, she rushed over and called him Young Hee-won. When their classmates announced that the teacher wanted Kim Ram-woo in the office, she stood up with him and, impersonating him, went to the office in his place. Even during gym class, Ram-woo missed his turn when the teacher called his name. In science lab, the teacher called him Young-hee-won and asked him to wake up Kim Ram-woo. During a test, he unconsciously wrote Young-hee-won instead of his own name. The teachers continued to call Hee-won Ram-woo, and whenever someone called Hee-won's name, Ram-woo would respond, seemingly resigned to his fate. That day, during a parent-teacher meeting, the teacher mixed up their names, unsure who was Ram-woo and who was Hee-won. Hee-won's father apologized for his daughter appropriating Ram-woo's name, and Hee-won nodded along. The teacher then announced the main purpose of the meeting, holding up a newspaper article praising Ram-woo for helping an elderly woman, who, in gratitude, donated her entire estate to the school for scholarships. Hee-won, with her excellent academic record, would be the recipient. Her father, stunned that his troublemaking daughter had earned a scholarship, was quickly corrected by the teacher. Ram-woo was the scholarship recipient, but Hee-won would receive a commendation from the Board of Education for helping the elderly woman. Ram-woo and his mother left. His mother was overjoyed, not because of the scholarship, but because her son, who had always struggled to make friends due to their frequent moves, finally had one. The school had called her, worried he was causing trouble, but things had clearly turned out well. She'd felt this wave of good luck since the beginning of April. Hee-won and her father followed them out, and the parents realized they lived in the same building. Ram-woo and his mother stopped in front of a closed restaurant. Hee-won and her father approached. "It's not closed yet," her father said. "The scrambled eggs with tomatoes here are delicious." "Are you a regular?" Ram-woo's mother asked. "I make them deliciously," Hee-won's father replied. He then went into the kitchen, cooked the dish, served it to them, and announced it was on the house. After they profusely praised the food, he revealed, "I've owned this restaurant since Hee-won was little. If you have any questions about the neighborhood, call me," he said, handing her his business card. Ram-woo's mother was delighted with their move, a delicious restaurant nearby and a lively friend for her son. Hee-won, ever mischievous, chimed in, "I'm so glad to meet Lee Hori." Ram-woo panicked and quickly diverted his mother's attention. Both parents wondered why they'd traded names, but neither child offered an explanation. "Those are for Kim Ram-woo," Tae-kyung said. "They're left in his locker. I thought he was a nerd, but he's surprisingly popular with the girls." Noticing Hee-won's annoyed expression, Tae-kyung asked, "Are you jealous? Do you like Kim Ram-woo?" Hee-won vehemently denied it. As they were leaving, Hee-won spotted a yellow dress. That evening, she wore it while taking out the trash, constantly looking around for Ram-woo. A passing car splashed dirty water on her dress, forcing her to wash and hang it to dry. At that moment, her younger sister, Haidu, announced that the kind of cereal Hee-won liked was being sold at a second-hand market. Apparently, someone in their apartment building had mistakenly ordered 11 boxes instead of one and was selling them off cheap. Hee-won eagerly checked the post and saw that the seller had arranged to meet at the building's garbage disposal area. She quickly dabbed on some lipstick and styled her hair, raising her sister's suspicions. Hee-won promptly kicked her sister out of the room. Noticing her dress was still damp, she frantically searched for an iron, only to drop a drawer on her foot, causing a sharp pain she dared not cry out. A little while later, Hee-won, now in the dry dress, waited excitedly at the meeting spot. She perked up when she heard someone behind her. Suddenly, she realized the seller was a monk in robes. Disappointed, Hee-won accepted the cereal and turned to leave. Just then, Ram-woo appeared and asked about her foot. With a forced cheerful expression, she insisted she was fine. She was starting to realize she had feelings for Ram-woo. Her mind was constantly filled with thoughts of him, and her diary was filled with his name. The next day in class, her best friend Tae-kyung approached and told her that a 10th grade girl named Jae-soo was looking for her. Hee-won was puzzled by the unfamiliar name but immediately understood when Tae-kyung mimicked a dramatic hair flip. Moments later, the girl herself appeared, flipped her sleek hair, and said, "My handwriting isn't very good, so my friend asked me to ask you to write a letter for her." "You decorate them so beautifully," Jae-soo added. Hee-won asked what kind of package she wanted, explaining she offered various options, from basic to platinum. Jae-soo opted for the platinum package, declaring money was no object. She then handed Hee-won the letter to skim. Hee-won realized the recipient was Ram-woo, causing her to hesitate, reluctant to take the job. She voiced her concerns to Jae-soo, wondering if Ram-woo would appreciate this kind of confession. Jae-soo considered confessing directly instead, but Hee-won interjected, arguing that a letter was a much better idea. The younger girl readily agreed, pulled out the money, flipped her hair again, and turned to leave. Hee-won called her back, asking whether she preferred a traditional or modern style. Jae-soo replied that since Hee-won was closest to Ram-woo, she should write it however he would like. That night, Hee-won sat at her desk, unable to focus on the letter. She felt disheartened that someone else was asking her to write a love letter to Ram-woo. Days passed, and Hee-won still hadn't written anything worthwhile. Dark circles formed under her eyes, draining the life from her face. Tae-kyung urged her to finish, complaining about Jae-soo's daily visits to their class. Still unable to write, Hee-won asked her friend to make excuses, claiming she wasn't in class. She then pulled her coat over her head and slunk out of the room. Whenever Jae-soo appeared, Tae-kyung came up with various excuses. Hee-won was sick, meeting with a teacher, or, in a more drastic scenario, involved in a traffic accident. Constantly on edge, they lived in fear of being discovered. Tae-kyung finally suggested Hee-won just confess to Ram-woo herself. Rejection and heartbreak would be temporary, she argued, better than this constant fear of Jae-soo. Hee-won vehemently denied liking Ram-woo, refusing to acknowledge her true feelings. Mid-conversation, Jae-soo spotted them from across the hallway. Hee-won scrambled to climb out the window and onto the school's exterior corridor. She ran with all her might to escape Jae-soo, even dashing into the boys' restroom. As Jae-soo searched each stall, students in the courtyard below gasped in horror as Hee-won suddenly fell from the window, landing sprawled on the ground. After the incident, the school called Hee-won's parents to inform them of her apparent suicide attempt. Ram-woo's mother worried that Hee-won must be dealing with some unspoken struggles. Only Ram-woo, however, seemed unfazed, figuring that the ever-eccentric Hee-won was always doing something unusual, so jumping from a window wasn't that surprising. His friend Hong-suk scolded him for his apparent lack of concern. The next day, the classroom buzzed with gossip about Hee-won's fall. Lost in thought, she received a get-well note from Ram-woo. Reading it, she broke into a goofy, vacant grin, unnerving her classmates. Later, Hee-won and Tae-kyung faced the school's reigning beauty queen to discuss the letter. Hee-won explained the delay, attributing it to the platinum package. Besides, she added, I want you and Ram-woo to be together, so I'm putting my heart and soul into it. It's almost done, like 99% complete. Jae-soo asked pointedly, do you like Ram-woo? Hee-won froze, caught off guard, then forced a laugh to mask her discomfort. She pulled Tae-kyung into the charade, insisting she hated Ram-woo to avoid suspicion. However, her over-the-top performance only fueled Jae-soo's doubts. Jae-soo described Ram-woo as handsome, tall, and possessing charming crescent-shaped eyes, implying that anyone would fall for him. Tae-kyung interjected, claiming Hee-won had a herniated disc and therefore hated tall guys. Hee-won played along, nodding and saying she hated guys who smiled, denying any romantic interest whatsoever. Jae-soo smiled, seemingly satisfied. That's good to hear, she said, her tone laced with sarcasm. I was worried you might be one of those girls who doesn't know her place and tries to go after him. So, can I have the letter now? It's in your classroom, right? Since you said it's almost finished? Hee-won slowly hobbled on her injured foot, leading Jae-soo to her classroom and reluctantly handing over the letter. Jae-soo eagerly opened it to find plain handwriting on a simple white sheet. Hee-won explained that the content was so moving it didn't need any embellishments. Jae-soo gave a strained smile and asked about the remaining 1%. Hee-won retrieved a sticker book from her desk and began searching for the perfect finishing touch. Finally, she chose a poop brown heart sticker and placed it at the bottom of the letter. Jae-soo, oblivious to Hee-won's inner turmoil, grabbed the letter excitedly and ran off. Tae-kyung placed a comforting hand on her friend's shoulder. Hee-won declared that friendship was more important than romance, claiming relationships were troublesome and time-consuming. Besides, constantly dating and breaking up, from school through work, sounded exhausting. Only friendships endured. Kyung agreed, complaining about the endless to-dos and anniversaries that came with relationships. Hee-won nodded, convinced that Ram-woo and Jae-soo wouldn't last. Just then, Kyung announced, "I think Jae-soo is about to confess to Ram-woo in the courtyard." There's a sparkly, romantic comedy like aura around them. Hee-won, who had just moments ago acted indifferent, crushed the bread roll in her hand, threw it to the ground, and ran outside, abandoning her crutches. She hurried down the stairs and burst into the courtyard yelling, "No." She then tripped and fell flat on her face in front of Ram-woo and Jae-soo. The concerned boy asked if she was all right. As Hee-won struggled to her feet, Jae-soo asked, "Why not?" Hee-won's mind raced. "I like you," she blurted out to Ram-woo. He replied that he liked Jae-soo. Hee-won quickly changed tactics, declaring, "I like you, Jae-soo." Ram-woo accepted this new reality. "Okay, then we'll just be friends forever," he said. Undeterred, Hee-won tried to point out a piece of chili pepper stuck on Jae-soo's tooth, hoping to sabotage the budding romance. Ram-woo simply kissed Jae-soo, chili pepper and all. Hee-won then envisioned Hong-suk intervening, somehow breaking them up. But Ram-woo suggested he play with Hee-won, while he continued his relationship with Jae-soo. Hee-won would be relegated to playing board games with Hong-suk. She frantically brainstormed 99 more ways to stop the confession, all to no avail. Suddenly, a stray soccer ball struck her head, knocking her unconscious. Ram-woo carried her to the nurse's office. He explained to the nurse about Hee-won's recent strange behavior. Moments later, Kyung arrived with Hee-won's crutches and announced Jae-soo's successful confession. Everyone cheered, leaving Hee-won to sigh in defeat. It was too late. That evening, as she hobbled home on her crutches, Ram-woo trailed behind Hee-won, worried about a possible concussion. He then pulled out a letter and asked if she was still taking on letter writing commissions. Despite Hee-won informing him that she'd closed up shop, Ram-woo pressed the letter into her hand, saying, "Just write one last letter before you close, please." "You know my handwriting is terrible," she protested, especially since it seemed like an important letter. Hee-won peeked inside and saw the initials JS for the recipient. Assuming it was for the popular girl, Jae-soo, she quoted a hefty 40,000 won fee, ignoring Ram-woo's puppy dog eyes pleading for a discount. In fact, she tacked on an extra 5,000 won just because she found him annoying. Without another word, she huffed off, leaving him speechless. Back home, Hee-won wrote the letter for the annoying Ram-woo while grumbling and even shedding a few tears. Despite her reluctance, she maintained her professional demeanor and finished the letter quickly. She reluctantly presented the finished product to Ram-woo, declaring, "Out of the goodness of my heart and our friendship, I gave you the platinum package." Ram-woo thanked her and opened the letter. The unfamiliar name Jae-soo stared back at him. "Who is this?" he asked, confused. "Your girlfriend, duh," Hee-won replied. When Ram-woo clarified that JS stood for Young-suk, Hee-won demanded to know what class this Young-suk was in. "Young-suk is my mom," Ram-woo explained. "She doesn't like being called by her first name. This isn't a love letter, it's a birthday letter for my mom." Hee-won was overjoyed, as if she'd won the lottery. She immediately declared that she wouldn't charge him. Though bewildered, Ram-woo thanked her and turned to leave. Hee-won chased after him, demanding details about Jae-soo's confession the previous day. Ram-woo explained, "I turned her down. I'm focused on my studies so I can keep my scholarship." Overjoyed, Hee-won patted him on the back, praising his decision. Ram-woo, hardworking and devoted to his family, even retrieved the letter, announcing, "I'll rewrite it myself. Diamond-encrusted, dragon gold, top-of-the-line version, guaranteed to make her cry." Touched by his words, Hee-won hobbled away, leaving a bewildered Ram-woo pondering the workings of her eccentric mind. On the day for submitting personal information to the school, Ram-woo felt a pang of sadness looking at the family section, unable to fill it out like everyone else. He chuckled when Hee-won confided in her friend that she'd fabricated a story about her mother being a secret agent to avoid any intrusive questions from the homeroom teacher. During a break, Ram-woo went to the recycling bins to discard his mother's paintings. Hee-won appeared, asking what he was doing. He explained they were his mother's paintings, which she constantly dismissed as worthless. She used to be an artist. Excited, Hee-won asked why he hadn't mentioned it sooner. Admiring the beautiful artwork, she decided to hang them in the restaurant, even orchestrating a grand unveiling ceremony with Mrs. Kim cutting a ribbon. Hee-won gushed over Mrs. Kim's talent, while Mr. Dunn wished his own daughter could paint like that. Instead of constantly journaling, Mrs. Kim told Hee-won that not everyone could paint the restaurant's menu like she could. It was a natural talent, she insisted, urging Hee-won not to be discouraged and to ignore those who didn't recognize her gift. Inspired, Hee-won became determined to pursue art. She even waited outside Mrs. Kim's workplace, begging her to become her art teacher. Unable to refuse Hee-won's persistence, Ram-woo's mother agreed. They returned to Mrs. Kim's house to gather art supplies, even borrowing some of Ram-woo's belongings as drawing models. Ram-woo, tiptoeing around cautiously, grabbed his toothbrush and squeezed out some toothpaste. Ultimately, the tower of blocks Mrs. Kim had built toppled over, leaving him to apologize profusely. Time passed, and Ram-woo and Hee-won found themselves still classmates in their senior year. Hee-won diligently continued her art lessons with Ram-woo's mother, never missing a day, and even adopted her teacher's habit of tying her hair up in a similar style. On April Fool's Day, Ram-woo entered the classroom to find Hee-won asleep on her desk, covered by her jacket. A note instructed anyone who saw her to wake her up. Ram-woo reached out and touched her shoulder, but his hand sank into the jacket, revealing only clothes beneath. Startled, he jumped back as Hee-won's friends, hidden behind the podium, erupted in laughter at their successful prank. One evening, Mrs. Kim needed to run out for groceries and asked her son to hold a glass of water as a model for Hee-won's drawing practice. Left alone, the two found it impossible to concentrate, their eyes constantly meeting. Hee-won finally gave up on drawing, and a similarly flustered Ram-woo retreated to the balcony for some fresh air. In the quiet, Hee-won pointed to the sky, exclaiming about a shooting star. Ram-woo, seeing nothing, dismissed it as a plane. Even if it were a shooting star, he explained, it would be difficult to see clearly amidst the city lights. He reminisced about seeing countless stars back in his rural hometown. He hadn't seen a shooting star since. Hee-won remarked how romantic it would be to watch shooting stars together. Noticing Ram-woo's gaze, she quickly added, I mean, with everyone, it would be amazing. Ram-woo countered, I think it would be nice with just the two of us, too. Suddenly awkward, they both backpedaled, insisting that watching shooting stars with a group would be better. Just then, Mrs. Kim returned, and a flustered Hee-won grabbed her bag, mumbled a goodbye, and quickly exited, leaving a surprised Mrs. Kim and a frustrated Ram-woo, who realized he'd inadvertently made things uncomfortable. Inspired by that awkward exchange, Hee-won went home and poured her feelings into a letter for Ram-woo. She meticulously wrote and rewrote, finally placing the finished letter into a heart-shaped envelope. The next day, the group went out together. After taking some pictures, they headed to a fair. Hong-suk, surprisingly, had memorized both girls' favorite ice cream flavors and volunteered to buy them, impressing even Ram-woo with his newfound attentiveness. Hong-suk excitedly showed Ram-woo a photo from earlier, boasting about strategically positioning himself next to her. Ram-woo realized his friend had a crush on Hee-won, not Tae-kyung. Hong-suk then ran off to buy fireworks for Hee-won, leaving Ram-woo standing there, stunned. He realized that he and Hong-suk weren't just rivals in board games, but now in love as well. He recalled their first meeting, two boys standing outside a crowded internet cafe. Someone had mentioned a nearby board game cafe, and they'd gone in together to play a few games. Hong-suk had lost every match. They'd gradually become friends, meeting at the library or quiet corners of the school to play board games. Now, their duo had expanded to include two energetic girls. As the sun began to set, the group held sparklers, laughing and playing in the twilight. Meanwhile, Mrs. Kim was at home when Director Park's wife came to visit. Mrs. Kim insisted she was not at fault, as she hadn't known Director Park was married. However, she admitted that accepting the money and running away was cowardly, and she apologized for that. Mrs. Yu Diaru remarked that Mrs. Kim was quite clever to have smoothly accepted the hush money and disappeared, not just once, but 7 times. Regardless, Mrs. Yu continued, that child is Director Park's son, so it's only natural for the father to provide child support. But why return it instead of accepting it? Don't bother moving from place to place. I'll find you no matter what. My husband doesn't want any public scandal or headaches with the inheritance. As long as things stay quiet, you can have as much child support as you want. Mrs. Yu then placed a child support agreement on the table, warning Mrs. Kim not to sign anything like it, as Director Park's attitude would change immediately upon signing. When Mrs. Kim asked why Mrs. Yu kept bothering her, she replied, "I also want an ace up my sleeve. I didn't marry my husband. I married into that family. You and your son are a significant weakness for him. I find it strange that you'd pass up the opportunity to leverage that. I also have a child nearing the age where they'll learn about family matters. I came here to see how someone who made a different choice than me lives. And it seems I have my answer." When Mrs. Kim asked what question she was referring to, Mrs. Yu just smiled enigmatically. As Mrs. Yu was leaving, Ram Woo arrived home. They bumped into each other in the apartment building's courtyard. She asked if he was Kim Ram Woo. He denied it, saying his name was Dong Hee-won, pointing to the name tag on his uniform. Mrs. Yu smiled, handed him her business card, and said, "You look a lot like someone I know. Take this, you might need it someday." Then she quickly left. Before entering his apartment, Ram Woo looked up at his balcony, remembering the previous evening when he and Hee-won had awkwardly discussed stargazing. Inside, he found his mother looking at torn-up papers on the table. "I don't want to move again," he told her. "I like my school and friends here." Mrs. Kim replied, "We won't go anywhere. I cherish your friends too." She then pulled out a new black coat she had bought at the market and mentioned running into Hee-won's father there. Later, Ram Woo retrieved the torn pieces of paper from the trash. He pieced them together and realized it was a waiver of rights regarding an illegitimate child named Kim Ram Woo, leaving him speechless and heartbroken. The next day, Ram Woo wore the new coat to school, unaware Hee-won was wearing an identical one. Classmates teased them about being a couple, until Ram Woo, exasperated, took off the coat and stuffed it in his locker. "Are you satisfied now?" he snapped at the class before turning away, leaving Hee-won speechless. After class, Ram Woo noticed Hee-won's coat left on her desk. He asked the two BL-obsessed girls if they knew where she was. They told him she left with Hong Suk. Seeing Ram Woo's disappointment, they consoled him, using a manga analogy about a knight missing his chance to confess to a princess, who was then captured by a demon king. They handed him Hee-won's coat, urging him not to miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. "We've been shipping you and Hee-won so hard. We can't let this ship sink." Ram Woo asked them how to confess his feelings, and they enthusiastically demonstrated. After their coaching, Ram Woo took off running to find Hee-won, the two girls cheering him on. Meanwhile, Hong Suk and Hee-won were at the city pool, where he was helping her practice drawing water ripples. She was so focused she didn't notice Ram Woo's frantic calls. Frustrated with her lack of progress, Hee-won worried she wouldn't get into university because she couldn't excel like Hong Suk. "You were such a good swimmer," she said. "The seal of John Middle School." Hong Suk replied that he'd quit swimming a long time ago. "My specialty was false starts. I was so eager to break records that I jumped the gun. My times kept getting worse. I wanted to focus on the physical education university entrance exams, so I quit. But after a long break, I realized I missed the smell of chlorine. People should really follow their hearts." Hee-won didn't respond, instead asking if Ram Woo was coming. Hong Suk confirmed he had only invited Ram Woo. "I want a swimming-related tattoo. Could you design one for me?" Hee-won pondered, then suggested a seal, saying Hong Suk resembled one. He playfully splashed her, and they devolved into a splashing match. Meanwhile, Ram Woo waited at the bus stop like a lovesick puppy. Hee-won finally asked Hong Suk how he got into the pool, since he'd quit swimming. He explained he'd been coming to the pool since kindergarten and was practically the security guard's third son. Just then, the security guard appeared behind them, demanding to know who was with Hong Suk. "We go to the same school," he replied, "and this is the person I like." He reached out to take Hee-won's hand, but she quickly pulled away. Hong Suk understood her answer. Later, Hee-won took the bus home and found Ram Woo waiting at the stop to return her coat. He was surprised to see her wearing Hong Suk's jacket. He finally started to confess his feelings, but Hee-won interrupted him, asking, "Were you hanging out with me this whole time because of Hong Suk?" She didn't wait for an answer, simply saying never mind and walking away. Hee-won returned home, love letter in hand, contemplated it for a moment, and then tossed it in the trash. The next morning, however, Hee-won still approached Ram-woo, tapped him on the shoulder, and admitted she'd intended to ignore him, but he looked so pathetic she couldn't bring herself to do it. Your face looks terrible. I know what someone like you needs. She led him to a storage room at school. The room was filled with Hee-won's art supplies and vibrant paintings. Only she and Tae-kyung knew about this place. Ram-woo, seeing a do not enter sign outside, nervously joked about ghosts or explosives lurking within. Hee-won simply handed him a paintbrush and invited him to paint the wall with her. Ram-woo hesitated, then began to open up. You know, sometimes a visitor comes to my house. It's not someone I look forward to seeing. She's the wife of the man I call my father. I don't even know what to call her. She occasionally stops by, gives me money, and leaves. It's probably hush money, so I'll pretend I don't exist. But I always wonder why my father never comes to see me, not even once. I don't know if I even want to see him. I've thought about it since I was little, but I'm still not sure. Hee-won replied, I'm kind of the same. My mom died when I was 4. On the first day of elementary school, everyone was laughing and happy, but my dad was standing there crying. I asked him why he was crying, and he said Mom had really wanted to be there. He missed her so much he couldn't hold back his tears. I was so young, I didn't remember much about her, but I started crying with him, saying I missed her too. But honestly, I didn't really understand myself. I didn't know if I genuinely missed her, or if I was just supposed to act like I did. She dipped her brush in a can of paint and continued painting. Ram-woo, seeing this, quickly joined her. They put aside their troubles and enjoyed painting together. As they worked, the wall transformed into a vibrant night sky. As a final touch, Hee-won used orange paint to add shooting stars. Ram-woo stepped closer, reaching up to paint Saturn in a high corner. They were standing very close, a potentially romantic moment, when suddenly, Tae-kyung, Hee-won's best friend, walked in. Unhappy to see Ram-woo, she scolded Hee-won for not telling her he'd be there. She also complained about Hee-won ignoring her texts about their weekend plans, choosing to hang out with her new friend instead. Hee-won explained she had plans to look at houses in Seoul with her dad that day. Tae-kyung accused her of not valuing their promises and always making excuses. She was tired of hearing Hee-won constantly obsess about getting into college. Hee-won pointed out that Tae-kyung was being too harsh, but she ignored her, snatched a photo of them off the wall, and stormed out. The two boys were left in an awkward silence. Ram-woo felt especially uncomfortable, knowing he was the cause of the argument. Hong-suk suggested they take the girls somewhere to resolve their conflict. While this sounded reasonable, Ram-woo knew Hong-suk just wanted an excuse for a group outing. They split up to persuade Hee-won and Tae-kyung. Ram-woo told Hee-won that the trip was a graduation trip with Hong-suk and Tae-kyung. It might be our last trip together, so we can't miss this opportunity. Hearing the word our, Hee-won realized this was a chance to get closer to Ram-woo. Smiling, she said, "Let me think about it." Meanwhile, Hong-suk was trying to convince Tae-kyung, which was proving difficult as she wanted nothing to do with Hee-won. He resorted to his trump card, mentioning the popular Mommy Bakery and fabricating a story about it closing for a year-long sabbatical starting next week. This news shocked Tae-kyung. Despite her anger at Hee-won, she agreed to go. So, they all met at the bus station, ready for their camping trip. Things were still a little awkward between Hee-won and Tae-kyung, but Hong-suk quickly lightened the mood, ensuring everyone had fun. Hee-won had brought the love letter, determined to give it to Ram-woo when the opportunity arose. Upon arrival, they all rushed to the bridge to admire the ocean and joke around. Hong-suk, observing the closeness between Ram-woo and Hee-won, grew suspicious. Later, they lined up at the popular Mommy Bakery. Impatient with the long line, they decided to split into two. Tae-kyung started reading off the list of pastries they wanted to the boys, but they listened half-heartedly, taking no notes. Exasperated, Hee-won and Tae-kyung handed them the list and shooed them away. While walking, Ram-woo spotted a poster for the Winter Meteor Shower Festival. He suddenly remembered Hee-won's wish to see a meteor shower together. Later, while Mrs. Kim was chatting with the group, her son called, mentioning the Meteor Shower Festival. Mrs. Kim immediately knew Ramwoo wanted to ditch her for Hee-won. Before she could respond, Mr. Dung chimed in, suggesting they let the kids have their fun. He'd save some cake for them. Mrs. Kim smiled and told her son to go, promising a separate celebration upon his return. After hanging up, Ramwoo rejoined the group, fully embracing the festivities. Hong-suk, in his enthusiasm, ripped his jacket, prompting Tae-kyung to mend it on the spot. Meanwhile, Hee-won was drawn to a raffle. The prize: tickets to the observatory for meteor viewing. As she picked a necklace, Tae-kyung awkwardly stood beside her. "I'm sorry," she said. "I always thought we'd be together, but the thought of being the only one not going to college, being left behind, it makes me feel uncertain." Hee-won replied, "No matter what we do or become, we'll always be together. We're a pair." Tae-kyung smiled, nodding in agreement. Their friendship was mended. At the same time, Ramwoo and Hong-suk were at a booth where you could send letters to your future self via meteor. Noticing Hong-suk constantly checking his phone, Ramwoo asked what was wrong. Hong-suk revealed his mother was pressuring him to retake his college entrance exams. "I don't need a good college. I just want to live life to the fullest. But no one believes me." Ramwoo picked up a letter and started writing to Hong-suk's future self. Deeply touched, Hong-suk asked if Ramwoo was hiding something, glancing towards Hee-won. Ramwoo confessed his feelings for her, asking when Hong-suk had realized. Hong-suk replied, "Probably after I confessed to her and got brutally rejected. But Hee-won always looks at you, and you look at her, so it became pretty obvious. I tried to ignore it, but don't mind me. Follow your heart. But don't get too cocky." That evening, as they sat on a blanket waiting for the meteor shower, Hee-won received a call from an unknown number. She excused herself to answer it. She'd won the observatory tickets. It turned out she'd entered the raffle earlier, intending to write Ramwoo's name but writing her own instead, since they'd switched names. Excitedly, she pulled Ramwoo aside. "You won the observatory tickets. I know you've never seen a meteor shower. This is also your last chance to be called Young Hee-won. I got into my dream college, made up with Tae-kyung, and I'm on a trip with my favorite people. Everything I wanted has come true. I'm so happy, and I hope you'll be happy too, because right now, you're Young Hee-won." Ramwoo smiled. "Come with me. I have something I need to tell you." Hee-won declined, handing him the love letter. "Read it later, at the observatory," she instructed, then walked away. Ramwoo called back and said, "Changing my name for you, honestly, it was pretty difficult, but it was probably the happiest thing I've done in high school. Let's sit together on the train ride home later, okay?" After their conversation, they smiled, waved goodbye, and went their separate ways. Ramwoo went up to the observatory and took out Hee-won's letter to read. Hee-won's group on the lawn also began their countdown and turned off all their lights, waiting for the meteor shower along with everyone else. For the first time in his life, Ramwoo saw a meteor shower and experienced the pure feelings Hee-won had poured into her letter. But the joy was short-lived, quickly followed by tragedy. The piercing sirens of police cars and ambulances echoed throughout the campground. Mr. Dung, who had been laughing and chatting cheerfully with guests in his art gallery, froze when he saw the news on TV reporting a gas explosion at the campground's observatory. Panic filled the air. Hee-won's group immediately ran to the observatory to search for Ramwoo, but they were blocked by the police. Hee-won could only scream and desperately call out Ramwoo's name amidst the chaotic crowd, though in her heart, she knew he wouldn't answer. A while later, the group sat distraught outside the operating room, waiting. Mr. Dung and Mrs. Kim rushed to the hospital in a panic after hearing the news. When Mrs. Kim couldn't find her beloved son anywhere, she realized something terrible had happened. Seeing his name on the list of patients in surgery, Mrs. Kim collapsed to the floor in grief. Even on the verge of death, the name Hee-won clung to Ramwoo. After the tragic accident, Ramwoo no longer carried the name Hee-won, and Mrs. Kim's art gallery was sold and rented out. After his death, Ramwoo's soul sat listlessly in a corner of the hospital. At that moment, a female Grim Reaper appeared before him and called his name 3 times. Ramwoo simply nodded and followed her instructions without causing a fuss. She was quite surprised, as he was a rare case. The Grim Reaper said, "Sometimes, taking the dead is like playing the lottery because their reactions are so varied." The most common reaction is throwing a tantrum. It's probably because they still have many unresolved matters in the mortal world. So, what is your biggest regret now? Ramwoo looked at his hands and remembered Hee-won's letter, then turned and replied, "Is it normal for a Grim Reaper I've just met to speak so bluntly?" The Grim Reaper apologized and said, "I died decades ago, so everyone I meet now seems like a child to me. It's true that I had many regrets when I died, but I didn't want to become a vengeful spirit, so I found a healthy way to resolve them. Thanks to that, I can legally return to the mortal world." Ramwoo then asked her how to become a Grim Reaper. Since becoming a Grim Reaper, Ramwoo has faced all sorts of ordeals, from being pelted with salt to being splashed with water. Sometimes, he was grabbed by the collar by the deceased, lamenting their fate, and other times, he had to chase after them because they refused to accept their death. While escorting an elderly woman, he happened to see Hee-wan, so later, when he had the chance, he returned to that cafe to search for the familiar figure, but found no one. One day, while escorting a gang leader, Ramwoo saw Hee-won walking out of the art school. From then on, he stayed close to Hee-won whenever possible. Once, Ramwoo even ran into the BL-obsessed couple from the hospital. They were now medical interns and still as obsessed with BL as ever. Ramwoo wished Hee-won could enjoy life like them. She only knew how to live through each day with heartache, unable to heal the wound in her heart. During a gathering with other Grim Reapers in a grassy field, Ramwoo heard them complaining about the increasing workload. He said, "Isn't it because Messenger Park quit that we're so short-staffed?" Another Grim Reaper said, "He didn't quit. Deserted is a more accurate term. I heard his daughter got sick, so Messenger Park abandoned his post to find his living daughter. He went against what was written in the Book of Life and Death, so he will never be able to see his daughter or anyone else again. Because if you go against the Book of Life and Death, you completely disappear." After their conversation, Ramwoo went to see the Grim Reaper who had escorted him to the afterlife to ask if she ever visited anyone, like family or friends. The Grim Reaper said she had visited once, but afterward, she couldn't bear it and stopped, preferring to hope they were living well. "Because if I visit and they aren't living as I hoped, I can't do anything about it, so it's better not to know." The next day, Ramwoo was checking the Book of Life and Death for information on the next person he had to escort. But when he saw Hee-won's information and the cause of her death as suicide, Ramwoo froze, shocked into stillness. Back in the present, after hearing Hee-won's question, Ramwoo confirmed that he had died 4 years ago and said, "I have something I must tell you, so I came here. You will die in a week. You will pass away in 176 hours, 12 minutes, and 35 seconds. Hee-won scoffed, thinking it was a joke and Ramwoo was playing the Grim Reaper, but his serious expression and the nod confirming he was indeed a Grim Reaper gradually wiped the smile from her face. She slowly approached, poked his cheek, and patted it a few times to confirm he was real, then ran outside and asked the deliveryman to come inside and deal with the pervert who had broken into her house. They opened the door, but only young Hee-won could see Ramwoo standing there. The deliveryman couldn't see him at all. Ramwoo nodded and said, "This person can't see me, so don't bother. Besides, this deliveryman will live a long and difficult life." The deliveryman, annoyed, thinking Hee-won was playing a prank on him, turned and left. Hee-won called her doctor to ask if her medication had any side effects that caused hallucinations, but the doctor confirmed there were none. Ramwoo calmly walked around and said, "Usually, it takes people a few hours to accept this, but later you'll regret wasting that time. After death, there will be so many regrets. Let me give you some advice." Just then, Ramwoo heard Buddhist chants, turned, and saw Hee-won meditating with her eyes closed, listening to the chants. Ramwoo approached and said loudly in her ear, "I'm used to this, so Buddhist chants are like ringtone music to me." Hee-won stood up, paced, and asked, "Who are you? Why do you keep introducing yourself as Hee-won and calling me Kim Ramwoo?" The young man pointed out that he was the one who made a fuss about changing their names. "And now that we've switched names, you don't like it anymore." Saying that, Ramwoo started rummaging through her belongings and pulled out a yearbook. He opened it, reminiscing about his school days. But when he discovered that his picture had its face ripped out, he fell silent. He turned to look at Hee-won, and she sprayed him with a fire extinguisher. Ramwoo had to admit, he'd mostly been splashed with chicken blood and salt. The fire extinguisher was a first, so it was quite novel. Hee-won was speechless, tired of Ram Woo's naive optimism. Afterward, Hee-won went outside, but Ram Woo persistently followed, chattering incessantly, causing her a growing headache. She had to cover her ears to block him out. Hee-won went to a sauna, bought an adult ticket, and went inside to soak and relax. After she finished and came out, the Grim Reaper was still following and chattering non-stop, annoying her. She turned and asked, "Let's say I'm really about to die. Why are you the one telling me?" Ram Woo replied, "It's a perk of knowing you." Hee-won asked Ram Woo to leave her alone and come back when she was dead. So Ram Woo dragged the stubborn girl to the hospital's emergency room to witness doctors trying to save the life of a gangster. Beside them, another Grim Reaper waited patiently. Another patient was wheeled in, frightening Hee-won as she started to recall the horrific memories of the accident years ago. After a while, the doctors couldn't save the gangster from the Grim Reaper's grasp and gave up. Then Ram Woo took the deceased's information sheet, announced the time of his death, and read the gangster's full name 3 times for final confirmation before handing the information to the waiting Grim Reaper. At that moment, the gangster realized he was dead, staring at his lifeless body on the bed. He burst into tears, then departed with the Grim Reaper. Having witnessed this, Hee-won finally believed Ram Woo. Curious, Ram Woo asked, "What do you want to do with your remaining week?" Hee-won nonchalantly replied that she wanted to sleep, then stood up to leave. Ram Woo stopped her, saying, "You really don't want to do anything? Like see someone, go somewhere? We could tour famous bakeries across the country, or even solve some super difficult math problems." Hee-won replied, "Aren't those your wishes?" Ram Woo retorted, "I have other wishes too." He pulled out a notebook listing things he wanted to do before he died, trying to entice Hee-won to join him. Uninterested, she got up to leave again. Ram Woo pleaded, saying wandering around as a Grim Reaper was lonely, finally persuading her to look at the list. He then added, "You only have to do 10 things with me." Hee-won demanded, "Promise. If I do this, you'll leave me alone and never bother me again." Ram Woo agreed, promising, "Once these wishes are fulfilled, it's over, and I'll vanish before your eyes." First, they rode a tandem bike in the park, even though passers-by only saw Hee-won cycling and talking to herself, looking like someone with mental health issues. After a lap, they sat together, enjoying the night view. Hee-won was baffled by Ram Woo's wishes but told him, "If we're done with the tandem bike, cross it off your list." Ram Woo gleefully crossed it out and started rambling about the remaining wishes, prompting Hee-won to snatch the notebook, flip through several pages, and stare at him with exasperation. Later, while enjoying beers and the night view, a bored Hee-won urged him to move on to the next wish. The next day, they took binoculars to watch migrating birds in the park where elderly people exercised. Then, while eating ramen and watching a polar bear video projected on a wall, Ram Woo thoughtfully sprayed fake snow and wrapped a warm scarf around Hee-won to simulate eating ramen in the Arctic. Afterward, they attended a classical music concert. While Hee-won requested, "Wake me up when it's over," Ram Woo was enthralled, as if he'd never seen a concert before. Later, he dragged her paragliding. Hee-won thought, "Did Ram Woo come back to take revenge on me? Why is he doing this to me?" The Grim Reaper affectionately fastened her helmet. When she asked, "Why aren't you wearing a helmet?" Ram Woo replied, "I don't need one. I'm not going." He then gestured for her to step forward. While Hee-won angrily protested, the instructor pulled her toward the jump point, ignoring her pleas. Hee-won paraglided down the mountain with the instructor, accompanied by Ram Woo's enthusiastic cheers. After screaming initially, she started laughing, enjoying the thrill. After landing, she frantically searched for Ram Woo, who called out from behind her, grinning and asking if she had fun. Though she grumbled that it wasn't fun, he knew she'd had an unforgettable experience. After paragliding, Hee-won reluctantly accompanied Ram Woo to her university. He thought her college life was dull compared to what she'd promised herself she'd do: joining clubs, drinking with friends, upperclassmen, dating. But she hadn't done any of it, and graduation was near. Not wanting to listen, Hee-won walked toward the campus festival area. The persistent Grim Reaper continued nagging her. She hurried along and bumped into an upperclassman carrying a heavy box. Hee-won apologized and helped repack the items. The upperclassman said, "We were in the same class, weren't we?" "What's your name again?" After hearing Hee-won, the senior confirmed they were in the same department. Ram-woo was delighted that Hee-won knew someone at school. After repacking the box, the senior tried to carry it again, but items kept falling out. Hee-won helped her carry it to the department room. The senior introduced herself as John-hun, 2 years Hee-won's senior. Seeing Hee-won's blank expression, she knew Hee-won didn't remember her. "It's understandable since you never participated in department activities. Stay and meet the others before you go." Hee-won awkwardly announced, "I have classes today." John-hun replied, "There are no classes today. It's the school festival." As Hee-won tried to escape, Ram-woo chattered incessantly, pointing at things in the room, and somehow managed to knock over menus and festival artwork onto a paint shelf, splattering paint everywhere. Everyone froze in shock. That evening, as Hee-won prepared grilled skewers, John-hun joined her, saying, "Thanks to today's incident, we're a huge success. You should come to department events more often." "Are you always this busy?" Hee-won replied. "It's not that I'm busy. It's hard for me to enjoy myself." John-hun paused, then continued, "If you need anything, let me know, especially about your graduation exhibition. Don't be shy. I'm always happy to help. It's called mutual support." Later, everyone gathered for beers. Sung-ho, a junior, noticed Hee-won was cold and chivalrously offered his jacket, boasting about his military service and cold tolerance. Ram-woo, seeing this, approached and stroked Sung-ho's shoulder, making him so cold his lips turned blue. Hee-won quickly returned the jacket. Sung-ho, unable to bear the cold, went to buy a heating pad, amid teasing laughter from everyone about his earlier boasting. After Sung-ho left, another student mentioned that Hee-won supposedly had a boyfriend. "A handsome guy comes to the school gate every day." Ram-woo was surprised and questioned Hee-won, who denied having a boyfriend. The student continued, describing a cute tattoo on the boyfriend's hand, which, upon inquiry, turned out to be a design by Hee-won. Everyone started guessing the tattoo's animal, with Ram-woo eagerly joining in. They quickly realized it was a seal, and the boyfriend was Hong-suk. Just then, Ram-woo noticed students in astronaut costumes and headed towards a fireworks stall. A worried Hee-won followed but was stopped by John-hun for a photo. John-hun took the picture and sent it to Hee-won as a souvenir. Hee-won took the photo and hurried to Ram-woo, who was excitedly queuing for sparklers. Being a Grim Reaper, however, he was invisible to the person distributing them. At that moment, as everyone began counting down to light the fireworks, memories of the past accident came flooding back. Hee-won, frightened, picked up the photo she had been holding and saw that Ram-woo wasn't in it. Realizing that Ram-woo had been dead all this time, she dropped the photo and quickly left the festival. Hee-won went to a nearby river, intending to end her life, when Ram-woo appeared, pulling her back. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. Hee-won gave a bitter laugh. "How does it feel? Enjoying the college life you never got to have? Are you happy? I've been like this for 4 years. I haven't been able to forgive myself since that night. You appearing in front of me like this makes me think you're still alive. You keep smiling and being nice to me as if it wasn't my fault you died. Please stop calling me Ram-woo. Call me by my real name. If you call me by my real name, I'll die, right? So you keep calling me. If you really aren't here to torment me, then just end it already." Ram-woo looked at Hee-won, gently took her hand, and said, "Young Hee-won, I like you. I liked you a lot, and I still do. I'm sorry I told you so late. How could I hate you? I'm here because I miss you so much." They held hands and cried together. The next day, Hee-won visited her father's restaurant and drew some new posters for him. Her father asked, "Why are you visiting me? And why are you drawing all these posters?" Hee-won replied, "I had some free time, so I'm doing them all at once." Just then, Hae-do returned from the market, and their father thanked his youngest daughter for working extra and running errands for him. Seeing Hee-won's confused look, he explained that Hae-do was saving money to go to Cebu to Friedave with her friends. Hearing this, Hee-won urged her sister to cancel the trip, saying it was dangerous. Hae-do angrily replied, "Do you want me to be like you, cooped up at home with no friends?" Their father intervened, but Hae-do continued, "Sure, you can get into an accident and die while traveling, but that's not the only way to die. You could walk out of this restaurant and get hit by a car. You could be walking down the street and something could fall on your head and kill you. If you're unlucky, you'll meet your maker no matter what. Since you never know when you'll die, I'm going to live and do everything I want, so you should back off and worry about your own life." After hearing her sister's lecture, Hee-won put down her drawing pen, grabbed her bag, and left. As she was walking, Ram-woo appeared behind her, touched her shoulder, and said, "I've been watching you from over there since this afternoon, and you look like you've lost your soul. You must hear that a lot, right? I know a fun place, let's go." They snuck into their old high school, unnoticed by the security guard. Hee-won went into the storage room and picked up a paint-splattered group photo from their senior year. Even after all these years, it was still there. Ram-woo asked, "How are Tae-kyung and Hong-suk doing these days?" Hee-won replied, "Tae-kyung probably isn't in Korea anymore, and I haven't been in touch with Hong-suk for a long time." Ram-woo, thinking that Hee-won was lonely with only a ghost for a high school friend, decided to go see Hong-suk. While Ram-woo was talking to himself, Hee-won quickly hid as the security guard entered the storage room looking for something. Ram-woo casually took Hee-won's phone from her pocket and called Hong-suk without hesitation. Hee-won was frantic, wanting to stop him but unable to. She had to wait until the security guard left before snatching her phone back and hanging up. Hee-won said, "Hong-suk probably deleted my number." Just then, Hong-suk called back and asked, "What's up?" He said he was busy and hung up quickly before Hee-won could say anything. Despite Hee-won's protests, Ram-woo added a new wish to his list, to meet Hong-suk. Then, the ghost went outside, leaving Hee-won in the storage room to figure out how to open the door herself. He told her, "If you agree to meet Hong-suk, I'll open the door." Left with no choice, Hee-won reluctantly agreed. A while later, they arrived at the swimming center to meet Hong-suk and saw him guiding students through stretching exercises before they entered the water. When Hong-suk looked over, Hee-won, led there by the ghost, waved hello. They then sat in Hong-suk's office, the atmosphere tense. No one spoke, making Ram-woo anxious, unsure what was going on. Hong-suk finally asked, "Hee-won, you came here because you have something to say, right?" She hesitated, waiting for Ram-woo to prompt her. The ghost whispered in Hee-won's ear, telling her to say that Hong-suk always presents his left side because it's his better side and he does it to impress girls. He also told her to mention Hong-suk's fondness for the smell of his own feet. Hearing this, a bewildered Hong-suk looked at her questioningly. Hee-won quickly corrected herself, "I'm overthinking things and starting to ramble." Seeing this wasn't going well, Ram-woo urged Hee-won to ask about their date. But Hee-won, wanting to avoid the topic, simply asked if Hong-suk had finished his military service. Then, she pointed to the books on his desk, curious about what he was studying. He quickly gathered the books into his backpack, saying he was just preparing for an exam. When Hee-won asked, "What exam are you studying for at this time?" Hong-suk politely asked her to leave, uncomfortable with her presence. She reluctantly left, telling Ram-woo to deal with Hong-suk himself. The ghost refused, wanting Hee-won to take this last chance to clear things up. Just then, Hong-suk ran out and asked, "You came here because of Ram-woo, right?" Suddenly, the piercing wail of a siren from an approaching ambulance triggered Hee-won's trauma. She gasped for air and collapsed, terrified. Hong-suk quickly borrowed a plastic bag from a nearby man and gave it to Hee-won to help her regulate her breathing. Ram-woo, helpless to do anything, watched silently and then walked away. When Hee-won calmed down, Hong-suk helped her up and suggested they take a walk. As they walked, Hee-won said, "I can't just act like nothing happened like you can. I guess I still haven't accepted how you could go back to normal so quickly. Honestly, I was jealous of that." Hong-suk stopped, gave a bitter laugh, and replied, "Why do you think you're the only one struggling? When you called earlier, I really didn't want to answer, because I was afraid something had happened. Whenever there's an accident on the news, I imagine the worst. I'm afraid of seeing someone I know on the news. Why do you think you're the only one like this? Every time you're struggling because of Ram-woo, I have to pretend I'm okay and change the subject. Do you think that's easy?" Hee-won turned to leave, not wanting to hear anymore, but Hong-suk continued, "I wish you wouldn't mention Kim Ram-woo. When I said that, did you ever think about how I felt? I was there too." After Hee-won calmed down again, they sat on a bench and continued to talk. Hong-suk said, "I know you came looking for me because of Ram-woo, but my feelings are genuine, and I really want us to get through this together. I still haven't gotten used to sirens, so I'm going to try working a job where I hear them every day. I'm preparing to become a firefighter. Whether it's a siren or something else, I'll just flinch every time I get startled. It's my job, after all. I'm really suffering and regretting leaving Ram Wu alone at the observatory. I've been hoping for a word from you, Hee-won. Hee-won replied, I thought you wanted to forget Ram Wu. Hong-suk burst into tears, releasing the pain he had been suppressing. To him, Ram Wu was the best friend anyone could ask for. He cried just as he had at Ram Wu's funeral 4 years ago. After resolving their lingering issues, Hee-won saw Hong-suk off back to the center. I'm going to forget everything, she declared, and try to be so happy that I don't have time to contact you. So even if I don't reach out, don't be sad and live well. I'm sorry for being selfish and only thinking of myself. Hong-suk smiled. Eat well and don't end up on the news, he replied. Goodbye. He stepped inside and noticed the go board, Ram Wu's favorite, sitting on his desk. He sat down, picked up the letter Ram Wu had written him 4 years prior, and smiled happily, unaware that Ram Wu was sitting across from him, waiting to finish their unfinished game. The Reaper beamed proudly. Wherever you are, whatever you do, he said, live life to the fullest. I know you can. Meanwhile, Hee-won walked, replaying memories of her last day with Ram Wu. She wondered if she hadn't let him go to the observatory alone that day, if she had put away the confession letter and gone for a walk with him, would things have been different? What if she had ignored the lottery call and stayed to watch the meteor shower with everyone? Or if Ram Wu had returned to the art room early for the party with his mother? What if they had never met, never exchanged names? Lost in thought, she bumped into Ram Wu. There's someone I need to see before I die, she blurted. My art teacher, she continued, who also happens to be your mom. Come on, let's cross off the last item on your bucket list. Ram Wu was sitting on a bench watching some old men play marbles when she approached. She'd inquired at the real estate office, but no one knew anything about his mother. What kind of Reaper are you? She teased. You can't even find one person. All flash and no substance. Ram Wu corrected her. I got this fancy suit because I was Employee of the Month, he explained, puffing out his chest. Reapers aren't omnipotent, you know. He boasted about saving up for a down payment on a house, settling down, and starting the next chapter of his afterlife. Seeing her convinced, he deflated. Just kidding, he admitted. Once you're dead, that's it. There's nothing. Hee-won stood. I want to be a Reaper, she said. Then when I die, I can go with you, right? Ram Wu immediately dismissed the idea, knowing it was impossible. Then he remembered. My mom, I think she had an acquaintance. And so they set off for a major art exhibition in the city to meet Mrs. J. Hee-won worried about how to introduce herself without causing awkwardness. Ram Wu helpfully suggested, tell her you're the friend of her husband's illegitimate child, or the student of her husband's affair partner. Neither option sat well with Hee-won. Just then, Mrs. Yu approached. Hee-won blurted out a lie, claiming to be a reporter looking for an artist. Mrs. Yu demanded a business card, so, flustered, Hee-won fumbled through her wallet and handed over her student ID. Seeing the name Young Hee-won, Mrs. Yu paused, recognizing it. Hee-won had no choice but to explain everything. She confessed she was there to ask for help finding Ram Wu's mother. Mrs. Yu questioned how she knew to come to her. Hee-won stammered, explaining Ram Wu had mentioned it. Mrs. Yu sighed. I'm sorry, I can't help you, she said. I don't know if she wants to see you. There might be a good reason she cut off contact. She started to leave, but Hee-won stopped her. Have you ever had something you needed to do but kept avoiding it? She asked. I know it's my fault, but I didn't want to face it, so I acted like a coward. I did that with my teacher. I should have told her Ram Wu died because of me, but I was too scared. Mrs. Yu simply smiled knowingly and said nothing more. After getting Mrs. Kim's address, Ram Wu refused to let Hee-won go. With her still consumed by guilt, he even wanted to remove seeing his mother from the bucket list altogether. He just wanted them both to be happy, and a visit like this, in this state, wouldn't be good for anyone. Hee-won recounted the past. Before leaving, his mother had visited their family's shop and blamed herself for everything. Ram Wu remained adamant. Even if he went and took all the blame, it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't make his mother's life any easier. He was being selfish, he argued. Why not just forget the past and move on? Hee-won shook her head. For her, it wasn't the past. Ram Woo angrily continued. No matter how painful things are, time moves on, and people keep living. His mother was living her life, and he should live his. Hee-won retorted that she only had 2 days left in her life. This was the last thing she had to do, the only thing that would bring her peace. If he didn't want to come, fine. Ram Woo quickly grabbed her hand. Why can't you move forward, he pleaded. I'm the Reaper here to take you. Why do you act like you've been waiting for death? Why haven't you, not once since we met, pleaded to live? He turned and walked away, frustrated. Meanwhile, Dong-hun was a nervous wreck, worried about Hee-won. After their earlier argument, they sat apart on the bus. Lost in thought, Han grabbed a pen and scribbled his wish on a gym flyer. Dong-hun still couldn't sit still. As soon as others from their department arrived, he asked if anyone had seen Hee-won. No one had. One student remarked that Hee-won looked like she was attending a funeral and couldn't understand Dong-hun's concern. He didn't reply, instead lying on the sofa, texting Hee-won. The night before, she dreamt of disjointed images, a train, fireworks exploding over the night sky, a distant church, an old man pulling a cart. He'd even seen her climbing a high wall, poised to jump. Hee-won checked her phone for messages as soon as she arrived at the bus terminal, but she barely glanced at them before putting it away. Then she saw her 4 friends, excitedly embarking on a trip, and the memory of their own high school trip flooded back. Lost in thought, Ram Woo appeared beside her, taking her hand. Think of it as a trip, he said. And so, hand in hand, they went to the solo art exhibition. Upon entering, Ram Woo let go of her hand and suggested she go in alone. He was afraid he might get into a fight and wouldn't know whose side to take. Besides, his presence would only distract her. He would wait outside. Hee-won entered alone. She saw Mrs. Kim guiding guests through the exhibition. Seeing Hee-won, she smiled gently. It wouldn't be until later that evening that Mrs. Kim would have time to talk. Afterwards, the two of them strolled outside while talking. Mrs. Kim explained that the place was a small gallery showcasing her artwork, with her living quarters in the back. She'd somehow become a jack of all trades there, managing exhibitions, giving tours, and even taking care of the building. She apologized to Hee-won for leaving so abruptly before, as if she were running away, without a word. She explained that at the time, she hadn't been in the right frame of mind to do so. Hee-won, with tears in her eyes, told her she shouldn't apologize. She was about to continue when Mrs. Kim spotted some kids sneaking in to smoke and went to chase them off. Once they were gone, she led Hee-won further into the gallery. Unable to hold back any longer, Hee-won blurted out, "It's all my fault. It's my fault Ram Woo couldn't come back that day. The truth is, that winning ticket, it had my name on it. I was supposed to go, but I told Ram Woo to go instead. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been there. You've suffered so much, and I didn't have the courage to tell you and I just ran away." Mrs. Kim rushed to embrace Hee-won, comforting her. "Thank you for telling me. I actually guessed a long time ago, but I didn't know you were still blaming yourself all this time. You must have been in so much pain, but how could it be your fault?" She held Hee-won tightly. "So, please, don't think that way anymore." They held each other close, sobbing. Later, as they sat together eating cake, Mrs. Kim confessed that she used to hate cake. The day Ram Woo died, she had set aside a piece for him. But when she finally tried it later, she realized how delicious it was. She realized she'd been consumed by self-hatred for so long, more than she'd focused on remembering her son. It wasn't until she moved there and started painting again that she realized what she should have been doing, remembering Ram Woo with love, not resentment. The time for self-blame was long gone, she said, and she hoped Hee-won would let go of the past and live well. Sometimes, she confided, she wished she could see her son again, just to show him how strong she'd become. Hearing this, Hee-won excused herself and rushed outside to find Ram Woo. He was engrossed in repairing an electrical box nearby. Upon seeing him, she grabbed his hand and pulled him inside, pushing him into the room with Mrs. Kim before closing the door behind them. Ram Woo looked around and saw the familiar figure of his mother. She retrieved a black coat she had bought for him from a closet and put it on in front of the mirror. Overcome with emotion, Ram Woo embraced his mother from behind. Even Mrs. Kim could feel his warmth. After a moment, she took off the coat, stroked it one last time, and took it outside. Ram Woo stood there, tears streaming down his face, finally able to express the grief he'd held inside for so long. Meanwhile, Hee-won was looking at the wishes she had written down when Mrs. Kim returned and gave her Ram Woo's coat. She believed her son would be happy to see Hee-won wearing it. Hee-won smiled and told her, "Even if I can't come here anymore, you have to live well." Mrs. Kim smiled back. "Not coming to visit me anymore? Actually, the night view from the hill behind here is quite beautiful." It was a shame it was too dark to see anything. As soon as she finished speaking, the string of yellow lights suddenly illuminated the entire area. Mrs. Kim was surprised. They had been broken for a long time. It turned out Ram Woo had been fixing the electrical box for this very reason. Hee-won realized that seeing his mother again was Ram Woo's final wish, meaning he would soon disappear completely. She quickly said goodbye to Mrs. Kim and ran to find Ram Woo. She found him sitting pensively on the hill and rushed to embrace him, kissing him. She poured out her heart to him. "After you left, I lived so miserably, unable to move forward or backward. I was just standing still while everyone else moved on. I used to wish I could just quietly die. But during this week with you, for the first time in my life, I wished a day would never end. But now, we only have one more day left, don't we?" Ram Woo could only hold Hee-won tighter, comforting her in silence. Ram Woo and Hee-won sat together, leaning against each other until dawn. Hee-won was sad that the stars had disappeared, so Ram Woo covered her eyes with his hand and said, "They haven't disappeared, it's just that the sky is bright now, so you can't see them, but they're all still there. Just imagine." Hee-won nodded in agreement and pulled Ram Woo's hand down. She then took out the list of her wishes and showed it to him. Even though they'd already wasted a week, they still had one day left to say goodbye properly. So, they went to a store and bought a suit, then headed to a bustling cosmetics counter where Hun kept sending annoying messages. Hee-won ignored him and continued shopping. They even stopped by a dive shop to pick out some flippers. Hee-won went straight home to see her father and younger sister, Hugh. Hearing her voice, they excitedly grabbed a newly purchased computer. Before Hee-won could protest, her dad ripped open the box, making any return impossible. He'd bought it with his own money, wanting to support her art. Hugh had even contributed some of her earnings from her part-time job. Hee-won had no choice but to accept. She then waited while her dad tried on his new suit. Beaming, he put it on and even brought out his saxophone to play. Hugh explained that he'd been practicing so he could play at Hee-won's wedding someday. Hee-won laughed, watching her father's enthusiastic performance and Hugh's delighted smile as she held her new flippers. With those wishes fulfilled, Hee-won and Ram Woo went to the bus stop. Standing next to them was an energetic woman with a suitcase, seemingly about to emigrate. She hurriedly boarded the bus, unaware that she'd dropped her passport. The couple exchanged glances, then looked at the wish list. One of Hee-won's wishes was to do a good deed. They raced to the airport to return the lost passport. Since the airport was large, they split up to search. Hee-won heard someone crying and found the woman, who was overjoyed to have her passport back, thanking Hee-won profusely. Ram Woo watched from a distance, filled with pride. Finished with their good deed, they strolled around the airport, people watching, and then sat down on a nearby bench to observe and playfully mock a cheesy couple nearby. Hee-won wondered if she and Ram Woo would be like that if he were still alive. The thought made them both cringe, but Ram Woo insisted he wouldn't be boring, just patiently enduring. Hee-won didn't argue, acknowledging his generous spirit. She couldn't believe he sounded so old-fashioned. Talk was cheap, though, so they decided to put it to the test. She added a new wish to her list, to try different kinds of dates with Ram Woo. Holding hands, they went to the bookstore's BL Boys Love Manga section first. Reading wasn't enough, so Ram Woo bought a whole stack. Next, they went to the park to play a carnival game trying to catch ice cream. Afterward, Hee-won placed her hand on a palm reading machine. The paper printout predicted a long life for her, although it seemed unlikely. Seeing Ram Woo sadly looking at his own short lifeline, Hee-won took a pen and drew an extension to it. They were having fun when Dong-hun called. Hee-won had no choice but to answer. Dong-hun kept asking where she was, what she was doing, and who she was with. He asked if she wanted to go to the school to watch the fireworks that night. Hee-won showed no interest, so he quickly mentioned that a famous band would be performing, but she flatly refused and hung up. Dong-hun was left frustrated, blaming it all on that Grim Reaper kid. It turned out that when he bumped into Hee-won earlier, she had seen Ram-woo. Dong-hun had also seen Ram-woo knock over the paintings on the shelf in the art room. While preparing food, Hee-won had sprinkled salt around to ward off evil spirits. Unexpectedly, Ram-woo had walked right through it without any effect. Ram-woo, curious, bent down and commented, "If you're going to sprinkle salt, at least use the good stuff," startling Dong-hun, who yelled and ran away. Ram-woo followed him, trying to ascertain if Dong-hun could actually see him. After feigning ignorance, Dong-hun finally admitted the truth. But when Ram-woo asked why he could see him, Dong-hun coldly replied, "It's none of your business, so get lost. I don't want to know things I'm not supposed to know, so just go away." Ram-woo, seeing Dong-hun's antics, assumed he had something to say and didn't want to be bothered, so he politely bowed and said goodbye. Dong-hun then asked why he was so attached to Young Hee-won, to which Ram-woo replied, "What do you think a Grim Reaper is doing here?" He then looked at the fireworks poster and continued, "It would be nice to watch the fireworks with someone. Just think about who you'd want to watch them with. Hee-won would be even better." Because of the Grim Reaper's words, Dong-hun went down to the school office to ask Haeun for Hee-won's address, lying that Hee-won had ordered supplies together and then run off with the money. Since it was personal information, Haeun couldn't give it to him. Besides, Hee-won didn't have a habit of group buying, so the story about running off with the money was unlikely. No matter how much Dong-hun pleaded, Haeun refused to share the information. Meanwhile, the lovebirds were sitting on the beach, enjoying the breeze. Hee-won reviewed her unfulfilled temporary wishes, seeing cherry blossoms, traveling to Northern Europe, and contacting Tun. After reviewing them, she said, "During the week I spent with you, I stopped having that dream. The day of the meteor shower, when we last parted ways, in my dream, I only saw your back as you left. I realized something was wrong and chased after you. I tried to grab you, but the person who turned around wasn't you. So yesterday, I was so relieved that you hadn't disappeared." Ram-woo nodded, understanding why Hee-won had kissed him so suddenly. Hee-won smiled and then asked, "How will you disappear this time? Will we ever see each other again?" Ram-woo was about to answer when he noticed Hee-won's bag was gone. Hee-won jumped up and pulled the Grim Reaper along as they chased after the two thieves. Seeing they couldn't outrun them, the thieves gave up and ran for their lives. The couple had a good laugh after the exhausting chase. They then continued to watch the sunset over the ocean. Hee-won turned to Ram-woo and asked how she would die. Seeing his silence, she understood that she had chosen her own death. She stood up listlessly and said, "I didn't think I would make that decision again. Honestly, I don't know how to accept it anymore." Ram-woo replied, "You understand that, right? If you don't want to die, then live." Hee-won gradually realized that Ram-woo was there to stop her from seeking death. What she needed was an answer from him. "If I live, we won't see each other again, right?" Ram-woo avoided the question, but finally admitted, "Yes, we won't see each other again. I'm already dead. You're alive, and you'll continue to live. Hold on to that thought and live well." Hee-won burst into tears, unable to accept the truth. She believed her desire to live stemmed from being with Ram-woo for the past week. The Grim Reaper took her hand and said, "You can do it without me. I want you to live a life full of hope, always excited to see where it takes you. I'll be watching over you and listening to you, silently. What we've experienced together won't disappear. You are both Young Hee-won and Kim Ram-woo." Hee-won, heartbroken, begged Ram-woo not to disappear. As she looked out at the sunset and then back at him, he was gone without a trace. Hee-won sobbed loudly, promising to live well and be happy, but quickly collapsed, apologizing for not being able to bear the thought of living without him. A while later, she took a bus home. As soon as she stepped inside, she collapsed again, weeping from the pain. That night, she had the dream again, still unable to see Ram-woo's face. Hee-won woke up exhausted, realizing once again that she was always alone. At the same time, Dong-hun was equally troubled by Hee-won's situation. He asked a younger student what time the fireworks would start and learned they were scheduled for 9 p.m. It was already 8 p.m. The curious student asked if Dong Hun was going to see the band perform. Although he declined, the student still mentioned the performance details, starting at 10 p.m. near the railroad tracks. Dong Hun immediately stood up and asked, "Which railroad tracks?" The student replied, "The one we always go to, before the intersection." Scenes from Hee-won's dream flashed through Dong Hun's mind. He realized Hee-won's house must be nearby and rushed to find her. Meanwhile, Hee-won neatly packed her belongings, took the wilted potted plant from the window to the rooftop, dropped it to the ground, and climbed onto the high wall. Her suicide note lay finished in her room. At this point, she had nothing left to hold on to. Dong Hun, meanwhile, was frantically searching for Hee-won's home, following clues from his dream. The moment he saw her standing on the building's rooftop, he sprinted up the fire escape with all his might. He arrived just as Hee-won was about to jump. He calmly tried to dissuade her, reminding her of the pain the young Grim Reaper would feel. Hearing Ram Woo's name, she bombarded him with questions. Dong Hun continued to soothe her, saying, "He said he wanted to watch fireworks with you. If you die, it will all be over, but the memories and the time you spent together will disappear too." Hee-won turned away, unwilling to listen. At that moment, she saw that familiar dream again. But this time, it was Ram Woo who turned back, the Grim Reaper deciding to take her hand and watch the fireworks with her one last time. As he finished speaking, fireworks lit up the sky. Ram Woo led Hee-won to a lower vantage point, embraced her from behind, and they watched the display together. Thinking everything was all right, Dong Hun quietly slipped away. After the fireworks ended, Ram Woo wiped away her tears and said, "You've put me through so much. You are both young Hee-won and Kim Ram Woo. You understand now, right? Saving yourself is saving me. Can I leave this world to you now? I have to go, but we will definitely meet again." He hugged her tightly and repeated her name 3 times. Hee-won slowly closed her eyes, accepting his departure. This time, when she opened them, Ram Woo was truly gone. From that day on, Hee-won's room was no longer shrouded in gloom. She dyed her father's hair black and texted her senior, inviting him to see the cherry blossoms. They sat beneath the trees, petals falling around them. Dong Hun mused that when someone disappears from this world, they leave a hole the size of that person. But the memories remain intact. Loss is like that. The harder you try not to forget, the clearer it becomes. It doesn't end, even after many springs pass. Hee-won replied that you just have to live with that hole. Keep it in a drawer, take it out occasionally, and eventually, it will be okay. Dong Hun smiled, satisfied, and returned the photo Hee-won had dropped at the festival. Even though Ram Woo was gone, traces of his existence kept finding their way to Hee-won like gifts. A grain of sand in her shoe, their photo together, the doodles he'd left in her yearbook. She also created her own gifts, reconnecting with her friend T. Kyung and participating in her university graduation exhibition. At first, she couldn't think of a theme, but when she saw Ram Woo's unique handwriting, she used it as inspiration, creating her own unique pieces. That's how she ended up with her art show. Just by looking at her work and closing her eyes, she could see herself and Ram Woo happily holding hands. From now on, she would live well and always remember him. Because loving yourself also means loving the person you cherish.